So my name is Dr. Stephan Harding. I'm a Senior Lecturer in Holistic Science and Deep Ecology Research Fellow at the college. And the MSc in Holistic Science has been running since 1998, so it's the oldest postgraduate degree here, and it's the foundation of all the other postgraduate degrees. And what we do in Holistic Science is to recombine what was split apart in ourselves during the scientific revolution. In other words, we recombine quantities with qualities. We're very familiar with quantities. It's what we can measure and what we can model mathematically about the world, and it's very important. It's given us a lot of useful information and useful technologies. But we've lost complete touch with the qualities of the world. The qualities are things like what it feels like to be in front of a great mountain, or the qualities of a flower. When you look at a flower, the feelings you get from a flower. It's a more poetic sensitivity, which we've completely abolished in science. And that's made science very dry and also, unfortunately, in many ways, very destructive of nature. So in holistic science, we're trying to recombine these two aspects of ourselves, our perception of the soulfulness of nature, the qualities of nature, and our ability to model nature, to measure nature, and to make mathematical models of nature. There are 3 core modules before Christmas. The first core module is called the Science of Qualities. And there we explore 2 major things. One is how science got to be how it is, and how we can get reliable knowledge of the world. And also, we learn how to tune our perception of qualities, how to cultivate them and tune them. We spend a lot of time out in the woods and out in nature doing this, and we use the method of the great German scientist and poet Goethe. So we follow his approach for cultivating deep intuitive connection to nature, and we explore how our language connects us or disconnects us from nature, and how our quantitative approach disconnects us from nature too. That's the first module. In the second module, which is called Chaos and Complexity, we look at how complex systems work. Complex systems of interacting species and ecosystems, or businesses in an economy, and we look at what we call emergent properties, how properties arise out of all the interactions between the parts of a system that you can't predict from a knowledge of the parts in isolation. It's called an emergent property. And we do this very artistically. We use mathematics to look at complex patterns produced by mathematical equations, simple equations that give you incredible patterns like strange attractors, the Mandelbrot set, and chaos theory in general. And we get a real sense for how emergent properties come out of complex systems, and how we can learn to understand complex systems, how they're intelligible but not predictable. And we work a lot with the notion that nature tunes herself to the edge of chaos. Not too much order, not too much chaos. It's just the right sweet spot for being able to survive in the world. And the last core module, which I lead and which I teach, is called the Living Earth. And here we use Gaia theory to understand the Earth as a great living organism. And we bring our previous understandings from the other 2 modules, from qualities and from chaos and complexity. We bring them into developing a really holistic picture of how our Earth functions. And we spend a lot of time on Dartmoor. We do a pilgrimage to the Dartmoor granite. We do various meditations in the woods. Even though it's the middle of the winter, we still go out into nature throughout the whole 3 modules. And after Christmas, you'll do 3 additional modules, one of which is called Mind in Nature, about exploring the idea that nature is animate and full of soul in different ways. And the other 2 modules we're still developing. And then you do a dissertation, a research project, carefully supervised by us, that can more or less cover any topic you like. So the MSc in Holistic Science is a high residence program. So if you come on the course, you can expect to be here for about 8 months. And you'll be part of a learning community, which is actually the entire college. People on short courses, volunteers, staff, are all learning together. But you'll be part of a very tight-knit MSc Holistic Science learning group. And you'll be learning together, sometimes all in a class, sometimes on your own out in the woods, sometimes with a partner or 2 other partners. And you'll be doing things like, of course, attending lectures, but you'll be giving your own presentations. You may be doing artwork. You may be working with your hands, you'll be working in the gardens, you'll be cooking and cleaning. We'll be doing expeditions into the nearby wild places here on the estate and also on Dartmoor. And you'll have a lot of very careful pastoral care given to you by the community as a whole. It's a very nurturing community. You'll feel really at home. You'll really feel you're part of a family. It happens very quickly. We develop a sort of sense of a learning family, a real learning community. And of course it's very international, so you'll have students from all over the world, some on short courses coming for a week or 2 weeks and then disappearing, and some of your fellow postgraduate students who'll be here for longer. So it's a very rich mix. Also, the college is embedded within the Dartington Hall estate, which is a very beautiful estate with a beautiful medieval hall where there are often concerts. There's a cinema on site, there's a restaurant, there's a bar. Ness is not far away, really lovely Elizabethan town, one of the most beautiful towns in England with all sorts of interesting things going on. There's also transition town Ness, which started the whole transition movement here. There's a rich hive of activists and thinkers and ecologists in this area. So you'll be coming to one of the centres of light, I would say, for ecological regeneration and for developing a real Gaian consciousness.